which, you know.
That's not bad.
I'm not sure where that yellow. I'm not sure.
I don't need that much milk. My wife needs it. The accountant check.
Yeah, I never see it.
It goes straight to her account. Which I will contribute to. Oh, sorry. Bill. Hey, Bill.
So you say you're not gonna do a circus this year?
No, we never know.
No, I know. Oh, way back when?
Yeah.
I was gonna run it like a last year. Just okay. Make you more like all I do is help up here.
Come on, brother. How you doing, man? How are you? Lamb, my name. Yes, wonderful. You have a place there. Wonderful, yeah. Glad you guys are here. That's great. Are you up on the mountain this week? It is for sale. Oh, boy. That's all I can say, because I'm not dropping a penny. So, you know, they pay all the costs and whatever.
We're gonna get you a little driver for the 22 show?
Double door. So now when family comes, you know.
Yes, we need to get started, guys. Sorry for the IT issues. We're up and running now.
If you need anything up there, stop over on number 6. Yeah.
Mr. Ron. Okay, let's get started and call the meeting to order. First on the agenda is review and approve March 24th, 2023 minutes. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to those minutes? Any other word?
Bill Emerson, no additions or.
Can you turn this screen on?
Is it on?
It is not on.
Okay.
You don't believe me?
Do we have a motion to approve the minutes as is?
I'll make that motion.
Then moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion carries. Agenda, Rich, come on up.
Rich.
Yeah, you should probably tell everybody that the meeting is being live streamed and they're all on camera.
Yeah, meeting is live streamed, you're all on camera.
Where's it at?
Camera's
It's
up there?
On YouTube.
It's in the cloud.
Yeah, I wanted to follow up from the discussion we had last month about renters and water and things like that. I think the one thing, after talking to several people and trying to figure out what the answer is, or should be, or might be, is that you guys have a registry for everybody that rents, and they have to make signage in those units. It, you know, it's like when you go to a hotel in Salt
Sure.
Lake or anywhere, there's something that says, you know, conserve water, do this or that. Because you mentioned that your grandkids were taking spit baths. And I thought, you know, grandkids, you're trying to form a memory.
Yeah.
Where I've got 11 people next door to me that are taking that memory from you because you're right, that's a great start.
And what you said was about the only way I can think that we could ever get the point across to those who have rental units and that sort of thing. But I don't, it might work for some people, you know, some people will still do it, but it's a start, like you said. It's something that's in the positive.
Yeah, because you get people up there and they have no idea.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming up to enjoy their weekend, they're not worried about how much water they use.
Sure.
You know, you take a 2-minute shower, they're taking a 30-minute shower.
Yeah, and you know, the other thing, it doesn't matter what it is, what it is, if it's a good year for water, if it's a bad year for water, we need to adhere to it.
Right.
So that when the bad ones come, and this was a real unfortunate thing this year, what happened to us by someone else taking care of our spring at the beginning of winter. But, the things that I'm thinking about now is on this new project that we're doing for everybody, the major thing, we're gonna be in a short season this year. The main thing is that we get that tank built, the extra tank, and have the interface between the tanks and get another pump station going at the same time. And also, we need to go up and check and redevelop those springs, and Leo's got some stuff we've been talking about getting some more property down by the spring, correct? Yeah, we're working on it. We're below the spring, so we can get even more,
Right.
more flow, so. Yeah, and I think that's great. How do we administrate that, actually? Send it out to all the condo owners and.
Yeah.
I don't think we know everybody that rents their cabin, do we?
But at some point, Wade had said that, the county is going to form an ordinance where they, you know, because they're businesses and they're not paying their taxes.
Uh-huh.
So they're gonna do something, I don't know if it can get incorporated into that. And, you know, how do you, once you say, hey, you have to have signage, how do you make sure that people have signage?
Yeah.
You can't get into people's homes.
Well,
Inside their own home.
but Jack does go in now, and he
Yeah.
checks to make sure that we don't have leaks.
We've actually, in my condos that I take care of, I've put things in there for the people and the renters to see about the different rules and regs that we have going on.
Oh, you have?
Yes,
Can we get a shot of that so we can maybe
yeah.
duplicate
I'll
it?
bring
That'd be great.
stuff by.
Okay.
At first, I thought it was about the money, maybe we charge a fee, but it's really not about the money, it's about how do we conserve the water.
Yeah.
And, you know, right now, we're doing nothing.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. If you've got something to put in, Jack, what does it basically say?
Well, it just talks about what they want, like quiet times and things about trash and different things like that.
So it'd be easy to add something about conserving water on something like
Right.
that. That's probably a really good idea.
But I think we talked about too, when people sign their rental agreement or their contract to rent that unit, there should be a signatures line there where they're aware, so at least one person out of however many show up know about it.
Okay. Yeah, Jack?
I've been knocking on a few doors when people are up there and I see them, I tell them, since we've been in water conservation mode,
Okay.
I've been telling them.
Good.
Verbally.
Yeah, well, I think you're right, verbally and then a note on, if you can put something, do people care if you put that on the front of their unit?
Well, we don't put it on the front, we just hang it on the refrigerator. I got a magnet.
Okay. Yeah, but we can rip that down pretty easy. Okay.
But, you know, my thoughts were something similar to like what you'd see in a hotel, a little
Sure,
placard
sure, yeah.
that's over a vanity on the mirror
Okay.
or something on the door.
Well, you have a lot of things, Shane, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I'm focused on there not being water shortage, but it's rare that we have a water shortage, so these are good
Yeah.
ideas. I personally don't see the difference between a family of 8, who aren't renters staying in their friend's house versus a family they rent. They're all staying in the same amount of water. I don't know that there's a difference, but,
Why can't we use a VAT, value-added tax, to all rentals?
Because you're not
The
concerned.
service district is the taxing authority,
Okay.
so. the-
All right.
any authority over that.
But that would include that.
And the county commission does have in order to have a rental, you have to get a conditional use permit. So they already have, control of that.
Hmm.
It may not be existing ones, anything new, if there's
Oh,
a
I see,
sale,
okay.
but, so they're already doing that.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks, Rich. We need to look at it for sure, and we will. Let's see, assessment area, DEQ and CIB update. Leo, you want to do the assessment area, and I'll do the CIB?
So on the assessment area, we passed that ordinance last meeting, and we sent out the notices of the assessment to all the property owners, and they had 25 days if they wanted to pay off their assessment. If nobody wanted to pay off their assessment, somebody sent us a check for 2,000 something, and we're not sure exactly what to do with that, but as you recall, the assessment is 26,492, something like that, per lot. So all of those people will be on the 15-year plan. We will be sending a notice of their first payment, which will be due around May of next year. And so we need to, hopefully we can get up there and get the lines to each of these lots. And so that's going well. And I made an agreement for,
Go ahead.
I made an agreement for some of the easements that we need with 3 property owners. And I had Dee and Heidi sign that agreement. I'm waiting for it to come back with the easement. So when that does, I'll ask everyone to authorize that agreement. And
Did you get through to Evan Chapman?
yes, they've all agreed to it, but I haven't got the paperwork back, so I just have my fingers crossed that they, we made an agreement over the phone and they all agreed to it, but I haven't had the paperwork come back yet. So I just check my mail every day.
Okay.
But, so that project should be going and everything's going along. We recorded the ordinance after the 25 days were up, so that anything happens on it, everyone is on notice officially.
David, have we had any funding from that DEQ thing yet? Like we have from the CID?
We don't have the funding on that yet, but we should.
Okay.
The bond company will finalize that now.
Because we gotta do the same thing with Rollins that we did with Nate. We gotta get that taken care of in the first place, first of all, so get them something to get going.
Right.
Okay. On the CID, we have funding, we're getting some of it now, and we're in the process of distributing that where it needs to go, and I got off the phone with Nate the other day at Tusher Contracting, and he's ready to go whenever they can get in there. That's the biggest issue, we don't know, but on that, it's pretty covered still. So he's ready to go, and he's in the process of ordering materials and things right now because he's not sure of deliveries, as we all are aware of. So he's working on that, and he's gonna put materials down in his yard for a while, that he's doing. Other than that, that one's done at this point. We've got the funding. And I don't know how often it comes in, David. We have to request certain amounts or they.
Well, they put the total amount in an escrow account, and then we have to submit evidence of the money being spent,
Sure.
and then they reimburse.
Okay. And one of the things that they have on the CIB thing, and I talked to Devin about it, is this is supposed to be a project that has to be done in the next 2 years. And we got a real problem with our year this year, not having time to do as much as we need to do because of the building. We talk to them about that a little bit, because I don't think there's any way in the world that we'd do the whole scope of the thing with this summer. I don't anticipate, Nate and I were saying probably 4th of July, before we get up there by the tanks and stuff, at least.
Yeah, maybe, I mean, they're talking to Nate about how to remove all those trees, those eternal trees,
Sure.
we may be able to accelerate that a little bit.
Okay.
Because that's the most, to me, the most important thing, that storage tank.
Oh, yeah, the tank and another pump
And I think Nate subcontracted that out. So
Yeah.
the question of how many subcon, I don't know how he's
The
doing.
guys
that.
that did their specialists in tanks.
Yeah, so he's just gonna go over this really well.
Okay. All right.
Before we move on, related to that loan on the $26,000 loan, is there any way to make that transferable, if you purchase that can be transferred to the new owner?
It is, it's on the land, right? Runs with the land.
Yeah, yeah.
So that is transferable, it doesn't have to be paid off, it can be
It
transferred
has
to the
to
new owner?
be paid off, if you sell the lot, you have to pay it off.
So it makes it non-transferable.
Okay.
So it is not transferable,
No, it's not, it has to be paid off if you sell the lot.
So is there a way to change it?
is there any way that can be changed?
No?
No, it's
No?
all, it's a done deal. We've got 67 lots, you know, and we've got they're all gonna be financed for the 15-year period, so we have a real job making sure that those payments are made, and then we can make our payments on the loan, and so you know, we've been through this before, so it's not something new, but people don't make their payments, then there's quite an operation we have to go through to try to get those payments paid.
Is it monthly or quarterly payment?
It's a yearly payment.
Yearly payment, well, as you said, it's due in May.
It's gonna be divided, so it's probably around 1,700 a year, and the interest is under 2%, so that's, you know, that's a little benefit that everyone's getting at that interest rate, and so it won't be very much interest added, it's under 2%, so add that to the 1,700, it's basically divided by 15, and then add the interest, so hopefully everyone will. And I talked to quite a few property owners about it, and so they're, you know, trying to get their budgets going for make the payment next year, hopefully that will work out, but I've been through this before, and basically it's a lien on their property, so they'll make the payment, and I go through a process of trying to get them to pay, and if they don't, ultimately they're gonna put the property up for sale, pay for the
Collateral.
What happens if you don't make your window? What if we get 2 seasons back to back?
Well, we're gonna be discussing that with CIB board real shortly here. Because, and they're good, I mean, you guys, you know, we started this in 2021. And for us to get the finance interest rate we got, and to have, get a little bit more money at the same rate it's unheard of now. The interest rate would be like 8%. We got it for 1.5, didn't we? Yeah, so, but they were real good to carry on, you know, because we made the documents. What we did in the beginning, just for your information, we made the deal for X amount of dollars, and then we could up it from 4.5 to 5 million, I don't know, yeah, that's right.
It was 3.5, we got it
Up to 4, but what happened is, they were very willing to do that because of the constraints that we've had up here, you know, and all the junk that's been going on with COVID, so, hate to say that word, but anyway, so, we're real happy that we have it, and that that money's not even available anymore. It's just not there, the state doesn't want to do it.
But there's no penalty if we don't make that window.
If we don't what?
Make that window that 2.5 years.
Oh, I don't think so, I mean, I'll be talking to the bond attorneys and the other people right shortly on that, and the CIB board. And, you know, they know us pretty well, we can talk to Candace, and we can talk to, you know, Prater and those guys, and we'll see what we can do, but I don't think they're gonna, they didn't hold us, they could have told us we couldn't have the money after 2022. You
pull your mics, and I'm a little bit of trouble hearing everyone
Okay.
on the, yeah, get towards your mics if you can,
So-
thank you.
When you say they're 7.5 feet, how full, when they're full, how tall is it?
16, so we're about half
16?
right now.
Okay,
Were they full before the fire?
No, we were right where we are right now, and then
Oh, we definitely have leaks.
there's definitely a few systemic leaks in the system. We tried to find one, and when we went to go find it, it had already slowed itself down, and I don't know how that happened, but it was leaking like 12 gallons a minute, and then when we turned it back on, it was down to 2 gallons a minute, which that listening leak detection equipment can't find a 2 gallons.
Was that leak from yesterday?
No,
This is different.
This is
Do you have
different.
one in Grizzly Ridge too?
So,
Valve in there?
yeah, but it's the one over at Grizzly Ridge is small. I think we have one down in the village somewhere that's leaking right around 10 gallons a minute, and we cannot seem to find it.
we have been in touch with Schultzen with that equipment that we're using, and then they said, if it gets even worse, there's a company that comes in and puts dye in the pipes. Did you tell me that?
Gas. They put helium gas into the lines, and they walk the ground and see where it leaks out at,
Okay.
and that way they can find leaks doing that.
Okay.
It's super expensive to do it that way, but
Well, if we can find it, but and I think it's a snow melt, it might be the least.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you're not, if they're building up high enough, then once the snow melts, we'll know exactly where to.
yeah,
Yeah, that's what we're anticipating. And I just want to let you know we've been trying to do everything we could.
and that's half the problem is with all the snow melt. You know, the roads are all running rivers anyways, and trying to find a water leak in the middle of a river is pretty hard to do.
When's the last time you guys were up at the spring?
A couple days ago.
It's okay up there?
Yeah, spring.
It's unburied and everything?
Oh, it's not unburied.
I was gonna ask for a miracle.
If they want to get in there.
Yeah, when you check the tanks, are you just checking the thing inside Skyline Lodge?
No, we're going up to the tank.
How do you get up there?
Snowmobile.
Okay.
Snowmobile up, and then we measure down in there, see how much water we got. The thing at Skyline Lodge, there's a PRV before the Skyline Lodge, so once you hit about 4.5 feet, the gauge at the Skyline Lodge will show that the tanks are almost full, even though they're not.
That was like a Jeremy, like, cheat thing, you know?
When you're down where we have been, where you're right on that risk of being empty all the time, that gauge is extra helpful, because you can
Right.
see that, but anything past like 4 feet in the tanks, it doesn't give you very good information.
Okay.
Still getting 42 gallons a minute coming through the pump. The roads, like I just said, are, a lot of them are rivers. We're trying to make bar ditches and stuff and divert the water away from the road, but that's how it's going.
Yeah, he also said to me in a conversation yesterday that, it's kind of hard to make the bar ditches really deep because they're coming in contact with some power lines and they're scraping it so close to the top.
Yeah, not the, yeah, you kind of.
Yeah, not the time to do that.
Yeah.
Like the mountain saying, May away, they say it for a reason.
Yeah.
Stay off the road. Yeah, not playing about the roads, you say.
Is the Forest Service spring running?
I need to get back in there within the next couple of days and make sure it's still frozen, but I think with the thaw we've had, it's probably running again. I need to get a new
How long has it been not running?
pretty much the entire winter.
The whole winter?
Yeah, that's standard.
It's normal.
Right.
It's
I'm just curious about when it usually.
It's hot for them to see if that's doing.
No, there's a meter at the tanks, but we have to dig down the manhole to.
Oh, okay, that's weird, yeah.
While we're talking about the Forest Service spring, are we in a situation where we get with Forest Service again about getting that fence up there?
I think if we are going to get fencing material up there, right now is the time to do it,
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
because
You're not
there's
gonna
no way to get in there in the summer.
You're not gonna
and-
hurt the environment.
Right,
Would you check with them?
yeah, I'll talk to them,
Okay.
see if we can do something. And equipment status, our snow blower should be getting fixed today, after I broke it the other day.
When did you break it? Big
I
rock?
think the day after our last meeting. No, I broke it with a big rock. But that's the only equipment I think right now that's not working up to par.
Okay.
Just back to the Forest Service spring fence. So a bunch of work was already done on this between Jesse McMullen. I don't know, Nick, were you? We already went back and forth with the foresters, and they told us what we could do and how to do it. So, do you know Jesse McMullen?
Yes.
Okay, talk to Jesse first, because there's already been a whole bunch of back and forth, and there was an agreement on what we can do. And they were gonna let us go up there, they weren't gonna do the work,
Okay.
but they had some thoughts on what kind of materials to use. So there's been work done on this.
There's some dialogue going on, huh?
Yeah, I'll talk to him and see what we're going
to the road, the switch back on Hiram Lee down to Trent's house, the power line is pretty much exposed there.
Yeah.
It's pretty much a safety concern. I talked to Rocky Mountain Power, they're gonna take action right away on it.
What are they gonna do?
They're gonna take action, I don't know, I'm meeting the guy up there today, and he's gonna look at it, and they're either gonna bury it or put it in conduit. But they're gonna do something right away, which Brandon should have called them once they knew it was that there, and we have so much water running down, it's just gonna feel.
It's barely been, the ditch was barely dug 2 days ago.
But you have to see how much water's running down that road right now. It's gonna peel the dirt right off of it.
Well, the issue is, we need a canal, we don't need a ditch, and there's stuff in the way.
When I had talked to Rocky Mountain Power before the runoff started and told them that I was informed that that power line was super shallow right there, and they said that they didn't want to do anything about it at the time, so.
Anyway,
Where that
we'll,
is.
we'll be involved with it for sure. We will. Okay.
Well, you can meet, Nate will be up there, or he's meeting, he'll be up there today around noon. And then also that, you're gonna have to take action on that road, it's almost undrivable.
Bryce, the grader's not working right now. We got Trent's Road done, he's had some issues with it, wiring is working on it.
I'm just telling you guys,
I know,
it's
I'm
almost
telling you what
impossible.
I'm just telling you what we're doing. Okay, we're working on it. We're not, that's the A1 priority of the road right now.
Yeah, I took a couple loads of rock down there at the road above Trent and took the grader down it to fill in the mud holes and created a ditch to divert the water around this place. But that's all I can do with the power line being that shallow, unless I convert it a complete different way, but I'll have to close that road to ditch it out.
I think they're I don't know, he'll come look at it, but I don't know if they're gonna I think with as bad as it's gonna be, it's probably gonna be conduit, but they'll decide what to do with it.
Yeah.
But
Okay, that's good to know. At least they're making a suggestion. They usually don't. So anyway, okay. Update on the roads, equipment's good. Ron's not here on the fire department.
You don't have Nick come up?
Yeah. Would you like to come up, Nick?
Sure. So fire department, everything's going well.
be close to the mic.
Nick Skank, I'm the town chief with, District 1. So, everything's going well on the fire department side, no issues with our building, with any of the equipment. You guys do know of the fire that we had. Unfortunate accident, of course, accidents happen. We adjusted to what was needed. One of the leaks, of course, was when that house, exploded. One of the valves, of course, was open. I know after Dave was checking it, and after it cooled down, we did close that.
Did it freeze open? Was that the issue?
No, when it
Oh,
blows up.
yeah.
There's nothing there.
No regulator.
No regulator. So, one of our captains up there went ahead and closed that and changed that. You guys have been working really well with us when we do have any kind of incidents. These guys have been shutting water down in some places to help support us because ultimately water puts out fire.
You have water for that rubble, for what, to take care of?
Yes.
Right now?
The only thing that we actually did, because there wasn't much left,
Yeah.
we cooled it down enough for the investigators, and then we allowed it to burn itself out.
Yeah.
So we did what we needed to without being excessive with it.
Sure.
Ultimately, it's not on par to meet the system that these trucks can pump, but we don't need to pump that much water in that.
Yeah, I see, yeah. Okay, so it was pretty much a done deal once you got to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Besides that, we'll just, keep gearing up, I guess, for the, wildland season. I know that there is a lot of snow, but, South Slope smells off and things so firm.
Yes, it is.
So, don't get too complacent with some of that. With the state, I know they are, of course, moving forward with, any of that, catastrophic wildfire funding, shared stewardship.
Are you gonna be able to do some more mitigation in the,
Yes.
this summer?
You'll continue to see that mitigation going across all of the county. I think, with, Laura, she's done a great job in starting the process of, firewise community, which that's a big key up there, and that also, helps kind of grab some of that extra funding that you guys can get to continue with the mitigation.
Okay.
So,
That's great.
cool.
Thank you. Okay, Leo, water rights.
Well, Brandon has been working on, finding the forms that we need. So you might all be interested in knowing that, based upon, a lot of it is estimating, but based upon what we have filed with the state, there was basically about, 78 acre feet that was used for culinary water last year, and about 10 acre feet that was used out of the Tipple Spring, spring that we have set up, and we actually had measuring on that. And so that was categorized as not culinary, but just part of our water rights that were used. And so I feel like that's good news, because I felt like that 140 acre feet 2 years ago wasn't accurate.
Right.
And so, and of course, we have like 350 acre feet of water rights in the district, and so that's just good for us, and when we're talking to other entities about what we're using and trying to explain things to them.
Does that include, are you guys still working on that storm release thing?
I'm still working on that, and it's, frankly, you know, I'm trying to work with Larry Maycock on the purchase of that water right, and it's one of those situations where it's, you know, sometimes you do work with attorneys that don't seem to want to resolve anything, they just want to keep, you know, basically doing their time. You know, so anyway, we're working with that, trying to come up with that.
Is he the guy from the irrigation company? Came up here? No? I don't know.
He used to be part of the area.
Yeah, he was involved with some of them.
Yeah, we brought them up and showed them the whole
Yeah.
thing, the president and another person on the board, and hopefully, I'm trying to get Larry to talk to them, and right now I'm waiting, I'm waiting to hear back from their attorney, or to hear back from Larry, talking directly to the board.
It'd be a big advantage to us if we can do it.
Still.
Well, you're still working on that, okay? It's just something I was thinking about, water. Okay?
And like you said, I'm also, you know, constantly working on that Upper Lake deal with that energy.
Was there another key Christian that passed away?
I didn't know that.
Joyce is like the off now. Before she would be the front person, but Keith was.
I didn't know that. She just hired an attorney who contacted us, and so I'm in the process of trying to talk to the attorney, which I don't have a problem. The attorney sometimes can help, you know. We'll have to find and understand what the
That water they have is
situation is.
banked though, right? The A water is banked.
Yeah, it's big with us.
Yes.
Yeah, it's banked.
Well, that's why I hope that they work with us, because they realize that they have to, the water has to be owned by a governmental entity for them to get it approved. So they figured that out and banked it with us. So I'm still working on that one too. And then I wish Ron were here, because I would really like to file that change application on our A-Water. But
Ron?
yeah, they prepared it for Sittler to sign the application with us. So I've been talking to Ron about.
He had a knee replacement 9 days ago.
Oh, okay.
So he said he'd try and get here, but he said he wasn't sure, so it worked. Okay.
So yeah, I'm still working on that too.
Okay. I think we covered everything there, and what our intentions are with CID and with the DEQ, so Shane, Beaver Point Resort.
So this summer, we mainly want to just watch all the improvements happen and finish the work that we started, but we have an 8-lot subdivision called Aspen Crest. Well, it doesn't have a name, but it's in Aspen Crest. It's the last piece that we'll be doing this year.
That was Business North, right?
The lowest, like, revenue go in, for the summer. The general discussion, it's the same, we have the same events as usual, no music festival this year, I'm actually happy to report. But we have the archery festival, the running race, the bike race, a couple weddings, and a lot of construction, there'll be a lot out there. So, I don't really have anything else to report, we're just, protecting buildings. I mean, the only thing I would say, and most of you already know this, but, expect the worst in the next month for snow and the impact on homes and condos, and be diligent and checking daily. So, anyway.
Bryce and I were talking the other day about all the unknown things that we haven't seen yet that will happen.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's.
Do we think UDOT will be involved in 153? If it gets damaged by the runoff and stuff like that?
They've always impressed me.
Yeah, they've been good.
But they had the 1 year, not last year, but the year before, where they didn't get on the road in time, but they asked everyone for a meeting, they said, well, we can do differently, and they're great. So I have a lot of faith that they'll do a good job.
Even with the new road improvements, even in the old days when I was here 22 years ago, they always kept the road in pretty good shape. And they did in '83 as well, so. Anyway, yeah. Okay, David, review and approve bills paid since last meeting, please.
The list is rather short because I was involved in other things last month.
IRS stuff.
So consequently, on the next slide, you'll see that the payable list is lengthy. But anyway, on this list, there are just a couple of things that I point out. This $3,000 to Holt and Company, that's the CPA firm that I work for, and that was 2 months. They get paid $1,500 a month for the work that we do. KMJA, that's a split of the lease agreement with the Christensen family.
Yeah, that's Joyce Barney, that basically, we signed that agreement to lease her water, basically, to the Yardleys down in the valley, and the state approved that, and so it was $5,000 we were worked out for that, and so we give them half of it, since it's basically their water that we banked, that we worked out the deal and did the exchange, the temporary change applications, and that's all approved for this year, and so we just gave them their half of that payment.
Okay.
On the deposit side, you'll see 22,000. That was the bonding attorney fee that we recouped from the CIB loan money.
Okay.
So there's.
So good job of working on that, because we had to go back and get some kind of stuff from the engineer saying that was in the part of the plan, and so then we approved money, so that was nice.
And they said it wasn't, so. Good, that's good.
You want to move that down. You'll see that the next slide shows the accounts payable, and at the top of the list is a charge for $8,300 for snow removal by Aspen Equity. And the rest of it is, the rest of the list is just routine charges for repairs and maintenance, propane. The Kents Lake Reservoir, that's their annual stock assessment that we pay based on, I think they charge $30 a share for the shares that the service district owns. So first and second quarter assessments up to this point.
Okay, Leo, do you have anything to do with those Jeffrey Walker lots that are?
I just was gonna mention that there are two Jeffrey Walker lots that are on the tax sale for this year. That tax sale is like May 23rd or something like that, and so if they're not paid before that, they will go up for sale, and they're also,
Where are they?
they're in West Village, and
So they're
they
subject to
might
the
be
assessment?
part of the assessment too, I'm thinking.
Does that mean the buyer would have to pay the 26 grand?
I don't know, I don't think so.
After your role, they did.
Why can't we turn?
Oh, no, because
Not
the county's tax lien was wipe out anything behind it, right? That why?
No, I mean, it still has to be paid, but the assessment is as of, January 1 of last year, and so there would still be a lien on the property, because the lien is just attached.
So those are lots 25 and 26, I don't know where they're located.
Down, they're tricky, they're down, they're nice views, but they're further down.
Is that the one on the north side of the
They're
river?
below Trent and Christina, like, by
Is that where
100
that-
yards.
Is that where that concrete pad is?
Yeah.
Up near there? Yeah.
What's that date?
May 25th. Well, I'm not sure. May 26th.
Yeah.
It's in the Beaver
I
County
was
Journal.
guessing.
Grab the Beaver County
I
Journal.
think it was
on the way
May
out.
23rd, but, that's what my mind says, but I'm not positive about that. I'll have to check with the bond company on that to see how that works.
Mm-hmm.
Just for information, Evan Chapman made a significant payment on the amount that he owed. But he still owes the money. He sent in $12,000 or so
Good.
that was back there.
Okay. So Leo, on the Jeffrey Walker lots, it's David's showing 8,800 or 8,600 past due. That's on top of what the county has, of like 4,600 or something like that?
Well, that's not the taxes that are 5 years in arrears right now.
That is, those are the taxes that are?
No, that's not, that's what he owes us.
So he's been paying his taxes but not paying us?
No, he hasn't paid 5 years of taxes, that's why it's on the tax sale.
I see. But the tax sale reflects all amounts due, because our dues have been attached to the tax sale.
Our fees.
Our fees, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, that would be correct, except for the last lien that was filed on these properties was last September, so any fees that have accrued from September till now have not been attached.
Okay. Okay. Actually, that's right, because the taxes are very little on those lots.
Yeah.
Mostly our dues that are.
Right.
Okay.
That's correct. Okay, so we did get a motion in a second.
Yes, we did. Let's see. On the bills, on the finances, any other business to be brought properly before the board?
I have one thing to discuss. Step closer to the mic, please.
I'm just gonna do that for you.
It's not on the agenda, right?
It's not in the
I just have just a letter sheet from you guys, just like to discuss real quick.
Well, you know what, we can't discuss that, it's personnel issues.
We could do it in one closed session.
We could do it in closed session, though.
Okay.
Okay?
Can I ask one question of the board, please?
Sure.
The upper road to the left goes up to the shop, and the next left goes to the Forest Service Road into the wilderness, and it's got a berm on it. And of course, and I don't have a machine to do it, I'm asking for help to access the mountain area with snowmobiles. Because, you know, we used the blower or whatever, made these big walls. And we've got to put snow some more. I'm asking for help with the machine to back drive that, so that we could have access up into
You're
the.
talking about Upper Meadow Drive, the two
Are you
chutes
talking about-
for the one chute?
The Nordic Trail or wherever.
We turn left to go to the upper lodge, and then the road to the left goes into your shop. The very next left
Yeah.
is the Forest Service road.
Yep.
And it, you know, I have not asked them personally, because I didn't feel that was appropriate. I was hoping that either the board or Shane, if you had a piece of equipment, a backhoe, just to drag it down so that we can access that.
It was a big deal. Okay.
That's quite easy for the backhoe.
They'll do
that.
Most graciously, I thank you.
Okay.
Rob does too.
Yes, very much.
Randy,
Did you all sign in?
Yeah.
A couple of things also, so make sure you sign in sheet back there so that I have your names and stuff down, please, thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys for everything.
Yeah. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Rich. We like ideas. You've had a lot of time to think about it, haven't you?
Well, I turned over it prior to, it was
Yeah.
last month, and I didn't know what the
Yeah.
answer would be.
I don't think, yeah, I know, we talked about it before, we certainly don't want to abandon that at all. You know, I think we need to have something that educates the people generally, even if it is snow shortage or not. You know, 'cause it's not always gonna be that way, but this was just a horrible year.
No, I take all that into consideration with everything.
But like you said, Jack will send me that screenshot, we'll look at that and just kind of look at it and see what might be able to put something that we can do in there.
From our HOA standpoint too, there are things that we need to work on that.
Sure.
That just improve everything.
That's where the authority is.
That's where it is, yeah.
Like the HOA could make the renters and the HOA put a sign in there. So I think
I
that's the
feel the
easiest
same
way.
way, like, I'm sending emails out, but I have, like, it's just a kind, gentle reminder, like, I have no authority really to say much of anything, so if you guys do wanna do something, I wonder if you should put, like, some type of a letter or something together that you all sign, if you get to that point, I don't know that it's necessary
Well, I
right
think,
now,
I
but if
think we
we're
need to
still,
look at getting at that point.
if we're still
You know,
doing it next year, maybe.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can and can't do because we're a district.
I did send out the email, with the information that Ron gave, about the toilets and the money that you could get reimbursed for replacing all of the water lines
Right.
and stuff. I sent that out to everybody, so
Thank you.
hopefully they share
Yeah.
that with each other and pass it around the mountain, but.
Yeah.
And the reason I brought it to the board is because you guys control the water.
Yep.
You know, we don't control
Let's put it
it.
this way, this year it was uncontrollable, but we're doing the best we could. We get it, but, and talk about controlling water, that's the biggest challenge we have right now, is getting that CID thing going, all the plumbing fixed and all the valves fixed and updated. And we've got to get security in the spring, there's a lot of things, but it's all the water, you know,
Yeah.
so. Okay? Yeah. Yeah, we're going to close session. What?
It's up to you.
Yes, let's do it.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor,
Yes, we need
roll
to get that
call.
off, so don't do anything for a second till we get it turned
So
off.
it's a roll call.
Yes, please.
I, Shane Gaffoff.
Well, she said, wait.
Aye, E. Drainey. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
They did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Will you all turn the microphones off, please?
I read it.
Maybe not when you have you guys have a chance. What do you think? You got it still on, or off?
It's still on.
Okay.
We can, she told us to wait for her.
Yeah, she did. I'll call Stephanie.
I can click stop.
Let me just ask her if that's what we should do, so we can go. Just 1 second, Brian, I'll come to you when we're ready for you. That's right. That would be bad.
You see Bryce,
You know, I've been watching, we need you.